Hey, what's up, guys? So it's been a while since I've uploaded anything. As I mentioned in my last couple of videos, I'm still out of town. All I got to work with is my my laptop here, and it's not the greatest machine to record stuff on. It can barely play the game, let alone record the game and play the game. So I've been mostly playing the animator, the Esper deck, and um, that's working okay. But I decided to hop back into my roots a little bit and try out the Esper control deck a little bit more, and made a couple changes here and there. And yeah, the deck's been working pretty well in best of three. Surprisingly, since I haven't touched it in a while, but uh, played I think 3 matches so far, and I've won all 3 matches, which is pretty nice. Played against I think a giant tribal deck, which was really interesting. I didn't think tribal giants was going to be a good deck, but I saw that deck. That was pretty cool. It generates a lot of value, puts out outputs a lot of damage. It's got wards, so their boards are hard to remove. Luckily, I was playing a lot of board wipes, so the creatures were a little bit easier to deal with. But yeah, deck was pretty cool. It's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. Uh, Played against green white angels, Coco. So that deck's still pretty popular, still pretty strong. I think I played against Iliad combo and a couple other things. Yeah. Um, so I made a couple changes. I don't quite remember my deck list from a couple months ago, but the main changes I made is I added additional Vanishing Verse to the deck. I think Vanishing Verse has been a pretty decent removal card. It kind of sucks in some matchups, but still pretty decent. Hits the only restrictions that it's whatever you're hitting is going to be a monocolored, but that's fine. For things that are bigger threats like multicolored creatures, or multicolored planeswalker, I still do play Wrath of God and Belfast Mastery. Belfast Mastery is not as important in the deck anymore since I'm playing the Vanishing Verse, so we kind of overlap in a little bit of in a sense, I guess. Cool thing about Vanishing Verse also can maybe deal with some enchantment, which this deck in general had a little bit of a hard time dealing with. We couldn't really remove enchantments that well outside of using Ashiot and Teferi here, but with the addition of Vanishing Verse, it gives us a little bit more flexibility to deal with enchantments. And yeah, it's pretty nice removal here. I still like this package right here, the 3 line, 3 mana drop right here. Either dropping Narset, digging for answers, digging for threats, or just using Archmage Charms to draw us additional cards. Since the removal of Memory Lapse, I kind of had to relegate Archmage Charm to be more of a hard counter sometimes, and that's not the worst. It's okay to use Archmage Charm to hard counter. That's fine. I was playing Dovin's Veto, but I found that I just never really liked Dovin Veto in the main deck. It's just too narrow, I guess. Um, and the casting cost isn't much better than just playing, say, a Negate, for example. So I think Dovin Veto, I think I'm just gonna put back in my side deck. It's fine there. Vanishing Verse is fine. 3 drown. I think 4 was a little too cloggy. When I tested out, I kept drawing too many of them, and not enough stuff to uh, kill things with. And so I think 3 is a good number. We still see it enough, and we still can use it as both a hard removal and a hard counter depending on the situation. I still like Fatal Pushes and Thought Seizes. I think they're still pretty good. Do have to be careful about Thought Seize though. We do hit ourselves for a lot, and really have no way to recover life in this deck outside of our side deck. So just be careful. Thought Seize, but I still like it. You can play 2 Thought Seize, 2 Inquisition if you like, but I like the fact that Thought Seize can hit anything. So I still prefer this, since especially with the loss of Memory Lapse. I think Thought Seize is a little bit better now, because you're able to hit stuff in the hand, and you know uh, stuff that maybe Drown might miss if you don't have enough cards in the graveyard or something like that. So Thought Seize still pretty decent. I took out Languish because now I don't think Languish is as necessary, since there's less indestructible stuff in the format. Plus, we got the Vanishing Verse to kind of take care of anything that has indestructible plus the baleful. So, or we do have Ashiot and Teferi, so we have ways of getting rid of indestructible stuff. The language is definitely good against lower decks that like have those 1/1s that make your stuff indestructible. um the dog thingy, I forgot what the name was, but that was the only purpose it served, was to play against those decks. And kind of lower decks more or less have kind of fallen out of favor, so I haven't really seen them too much. So I just went with the more generic Wrath of God build and max out on that. And yeah, hopefully my opponent isn't playing anything super, uh, that has indestructible. The main weakness of Wrath of God is it requires us to play more white mana versus Languish. Double black wasn't as hard to get versus double white is a little bit harder to get in the deck. So I had to fix the mana base for that just a teeny bit, and I'll kind of show you what I tweaked about it. The rest of this, yeah, our win conditions are still basically the same. Token generators, big beatdowns, our late game control card. Yeah, still wins us the game pretty easily. In terms of the mana, I don't know how I can scroll over here. In terms of the mana, we're trying out Hall of the Storm Giants. Yeah, it served its purpose. There's times in the late game where you will animate this thing and swing in with it, and it's been pretty good. I took out the Castle Bantress because I just, both in real life Magic and uh, in Arena here, I don't really like Bantress because it's like, um, if I'm spending 5 minutes scry, probably really losing. I'd rather might as well make a 7/7 with 5 mana or 6 mana and swing in with it, and hopefully deal damage, just end the game or use it as blocker or something. Versus the Vantress wasn't that great. I like Vantress in Fire of Intervention decks because you're not using your mana for anything, but just one Vantress wasn't gonna do much for me. I think having more mana lands in general would be a kind of good addition to control decks. Plus, I do have Search for Skanta, so if I am digging for something, I'll probably end up using Search for Skanta over Castle Vantress. So they kind of had a overlapping effect. So you either play Search for Skanta or you play Vantress. I don't think you need to play both. And with the addition of the Storm Giant from Val, I think Val or Midnight Hunt, or Innistrad or whatever, I think having a second man land is good. I don't think the black man land's too great, and I don't think the white man land is that great either. So I chose I would say the best one was the Hall of Storm Giant, because we also have Castle Arundel, which is kind of like our white man land. Castle Arundel is still really good, especially late game. You can start pumping out one token on your turn, pumping out one token on their turn, and you untap it with Teferi. Yeah, I definitely still like Castle Arundel in Historic in this particular build. I decided to put back 4 Fable Passages just because I'm running 5 basics. On top of it, I really do like the proc on the Fatal Pushes to make Fatal Pushes a little bit stronger as a card. Fatal, so that's what I'm doing with the Fatal Passages here, just to make Fatal Pushes a little bit better and to kind of thin out my deck so during the later part of the game I don't run into as many lands, you know, going forward, I guess. Cut the Godless Shrine down to 1. Don't really need it. You can even take this out completely, but I still play it for the typing, the Plains and Swamp, and the fact that I can still shock it and play a Fatal Push or Thoughtseize turn 1 if I need to. Preferably, I like to open up the Watery Graves instead, or even a tap Hall Fountain is fine with me. Not that big of a deal. Decided to up the Glacial Fortress because I want to see more white source, or more white source in the game overall. And then I don't think I need as many black source anymore, since I did take out the Languish and some other heavy black source card. Don't need black as much anymore. I think we still lean towards blue and still a lot of black, but the black cost is easy. Most of the cost is just 1 black, and so you're not really you don't really need double black or triple black or anything like that. You just need one source of black. You should be good to go. Where the white cards, all of them are heavy costed in white and double, double white or like so you do need your white source, and obviously blue for sure. You need as many blue sources you can get. Without any blue source, this deck just doesn't run. So yeah, triple blue here, double blue there. Memory Deluge. Memory Deluge, I still have no real big opinion. I think you can probably bump this up to 2, maybe even 3. I think 2 would be a good number. Right now, I just have it sitting at 3, or sorry, at 1, because I am still playing the Narset. I still like seeing a turn 3 Narset or turn 3 Archmage Charm, which is why I've only played one Deluge, because they kind of overlap with each other. But yeah, if you want more consistency and redundancy, you could play more Deluge and maybe less Narset. I haven't gotten the chance to flashback to the Deluge. In general, I haven't really got the chance to even cast it, so can't say whether I like it or not in this particular deck. So yeah. Side deck wise, not too much has changed. I putting a little bit more graveyard hate here with these Lantern and the Rest in Peace. Don't want to play too many Rest in Peace because they do become dead later in the game, so 2 is good enough. At least with the Lanterns, if they are dead, you can just sacrifice them to draw a card. Kind of, a really crappy Mishra's Bauble, I guess. So there's that. Aethergus, a couple of hard counters here. So you got the Dolmen Beetles. I still like some hard counters. And you got kind of a conditional counter here. But I mean, this is in the matchup against blue where you don't want to use your Archmage Charm to counter. You want to throw in Mystic Dispute, and in the event if you do play Rest in Peace and Lantern or Kaya here, or Kaya, you might want to remove the Drown Unlock because they become worse if you do play Rest in Peace and stuff like that. Yeah, still got the 2 Kayas. Still pretty decent card. And then the final 2 cards is just Cleansing Nova, namely to blow up artifacts and enchantments in case we do play against enchantment decks and stuff like that. And sometimes I do side them in against aggressive decks too. At 5 mana, they're a little slow. They are definitely not as great to play at 5 mana. But yeah, definitely can still play 2 there. And that's all I got for you for this deck update. I'll try to record a game or so, but yeah, like I said, the video... sorry, I'm kind of rolling over my tongue here, or biting my tongue, but yeah, the video quality isn't too great on the laptop. It lags a lot and stutters and makes the game really hard to play. And so I don't know how much footage I will be able to get that's even worth uploading to YouTube. But yeah, right now I think I'm sitting around Plat 1. I just got to Plat 1 today, playing the deck. So 1 whole rank, just playing the Esper control deck, and I'll probably hit Diamond before the year ends, hopefully. We'll see. But yeah, outside of that, I think historic format hasn't really changed too much, even despite with the new alchemy stuff here. The format hasn't really changed all that much. I know it's kind of a turn off a lot of people from playing historic, but I mean, outside of going to like Magic Online or something, I think historic is the only real way to play a internal format for free, I guess, because Magic Arena is a free-to-play game, so you can't play it for free. I wish Magic Online was free to play. I definitely switch over to that and play that instead. I might look into that in the future to try to maybe get into Magic Online. We'll have to see. I will probably make my Esper control deck in Magic Online and try that out, but I think the cost is like upwards of like $600 or $700. I don't know if I want to spend that much on a digital card game. Definitely, if I can free to play in Magic Online, I definitely would, but I don't want to spend $700 on a deck on Magic Online. And I know there's rental services and stuff like that, but I don't really like playing a subscription fee either. I mean, it's definitely a lot cheaper, but I might as well just own the cards, and so I'm kind of having some conflicting thoughts right now on whether I want to rent out the deck or just buy the deck completely and play it online. On top of that, entry to like tournaments and leagues and stuff like that are not free, so that's the other thing. is like, each time you enter it's like $10, $15. At that point, I'd rather go play Paper Magic. I do have a Paper Magic, Esper deck, and I don't really want to spend another $700 to make that deck in an online format just to play online when I can just play in real life, which I think I prefer anyways. I prefer Paper Magic over digital Magic. Um, a better testaments to your skills and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I kind of ramble on enough. Maybe I'll make a small update on the animated Esper deck here, but I don't think anything's really changed too much, so I don't think I really need to talk about that. But yeah, that's basically it, and we'll see you guys next time.